Meat fly eggs. Meat flies are a fairly large family, representatives of which are distributed throughout the world. Their Latin name is sarcophagi, which means flesh eater. The reason for this is that very often these flies breed on vertebrate corpses. Meat flies can lay 100-200 eggs at a time. The female lays about 2,000 eggs in her lifetime. A larva hatches from the egg in 12-48 hours, depending on the species. It should be noted that some meat flies are viviparous. The larvae of the insect are found not only on meat, but also on rotting fruit, feces, manure and other decaying organic matter. Larvae of some species live in the wounds and mucous membranes of mammals or parasitize insects, mollusks. Their diet may also include caterpillars and larvae of other insects, eggs, milk, fish. Growth of larvae on average takes 3-10 days, which depends on the species of insect and habitat conditions. They then move into the soil and pupate. The pupae of meat flies under unfavorable conditions are able to fall into an extremely long hibernation. The lifespan of adults can vary greatly. On average, the meat fly lives about a month. Salamander egg. The name, salamander, means burning from within in Persian. These tailed amphibians are more like lizards, but despite this, these animals represent different species. Lizards are members of the class reptiles, while salamanders are members of the class amphibians. The reproductive process, as well as mating, in salamanders takes place on land. The male forms a special sac containing sex cells, spermatophore. Once it is fully formed, the male deposits it on the ground. The female then presses against the spermatophore, as a result of which fertilization occurs. Eventually the female may deposit the finished cells in the water, or she may continue to carry them inside her. Small larvae are born by hatching from eggs directly into the water. Here everything depends on the mother of the offspring and her choice. The cub turns into an adult when it reaches the age of 3 years. After that, it can live about 12-15 more years and regularly reproduce. Australian bull shark eggs. Most normal sharks are egg-living. This means that the fish carry their eggs in their womb, where they hatch. The fry then swim out of their mother's gut into the light of day. But the Australian bull shark lays up to 16 eggs per season, but the babies will take a very long time to develop. After mating, females stay together for 2 weeks to a month and then disperse to find a suitable shelter for future babies. Interestingly, a female can lay up to 200 eggs during her lifetime, even though horn sharks reach sexual maturity at 11-14 years of age and have a maximum lifespan of 30 years. The eggs of the Australian bull shark are conical in shape, encased in a horny shell with a spiral-shaped outgrowth. The female lays 2 of these eggs every 2 weeks until the number of eggs reaches 16. After 7 months, 20-centimeter-long acolytes emerge from them. Neither the father nor the mother is involved in their protection and feeding. Zebra shark eggs. These sharks are quite calm and unhurried. They can often be seen in oceanariums in different cities and countries, where they either swim in the water column or lie on the bottom. Under natural conditions, zebra sharks are bottom-dwelling. They are solitary predators that gather in packs only during breeding season. During the day, they prefer to rest on the sandy bottom, with their broad pectoral fins serving as limbs on which they rest. They hunt during the night hours. Zebra sharks are egg-laying sharks. One female lays up to 4 oblong-shaped egg capsules. The capsule has horny outgrowths that serve to attach it to the bottom. The size of the egg capsules is quite large, up to 17 centimeters long. The length of the torso of newborn small aculeate up to 35 centimeters. Young fish keep in flocks, usually away from adults and not close to the shore. The zebra shark becomes sexually mature at a body length of about 150 centimeters. By this time, the striped, juvenile coloration is completely replaced by the spotted, adult coloration, and 5 skin folds appear on the back and sides. May beetle eggs. The May beetle is considered one of the first messengers of spring. With the arrival of warmth, the beetle wakes up from its winter hibernation and goes in search of food. The insect flies very fast, with a speed of 2 to 3 meters per second. Pipistrelle is able to overcome about 20 kilometers per day. First, he rises up to a height of 5 to 100 meters, then, several times circling above the ground, flies further in a straight line. Interestingly, According to the laws of aerodynamics, this insect should not fly due to too low a lift coefficient. The female May beetle can reproduce 2-3 weeks after emerging from the pupa. After mating, she buries herself in the ground, where she lays eggs. After that she again goes in search of a male, and the process of egg laying is repeated. The whole action can occur up to 4 times, after which the female dies. Eggs laid by the female are dirty white in color. They are 0.2 centimeters wide and 0.3 centimeters long. At first the eggs are soft, then they harden. Their development takes from 24 to 50 days. Whitefly eggs. In the deserts of Arizona, North America, the sudden flooding of rivers during the rainy season poses a particular threat to riverine animals. The rushing torrents can turn channels consisting of a few nearly dried-up puddles into a frenzied rush in a matter of hours. In these turbulent streams, the whitebug lives. This giant bug has a whole arsenal of special adaptations that help it cope with the dangers at every turn. When rivers dry up, the whitebug pounces on other insects that have survived in temporary puddles, eats and begins to reproduce. The female lays more than 100 eggs on the male's back. Without paternal care, the future offspring simply cannot survive, because in standing water there is not enough oxygen, and without it the embryos quickly die. To avoid this, males climb onto some pebble near the surface of the water and begin bending and extending their hind legs. These movements keep the water circulating around the eggs, supplying them with vital oxygen. Eggs of the thin-billed kara. Thin-billed kites lay very unusually shaped eggs. When the number of birds is large, it is not so easy for a pair of cairns to find a good place for a nest. To be exact, not for a nest, but for a place where the only egg will be laid, because these birds do not build nests in the traditional sense of the word. They simply choose a more or less level ground and lay an egg there, having previously defended their right to a successful place in a fight with tribesmen. In such turmoil and with such an unimaginable number of neighbors can and confuse the eggs. But for this case nature has provided a wonderful way. Each egg is unique in color, shape and location of spots, which helps parents to distinguish it from another. But even more ingeniously nature has taken care that a single egg does not fall from a steep ledge in case of stormy wind or careless movement of crowding neighbors. The egg is cone-shaped and with a slight movement does not roll far away, but rotates around the pointed end, returning to its original position. The stability of such an egg, laid on a ledge of a steep cliff, is significantly increased in comparison with eggs of the traditional form. Dinosaur eggs. Until the mid-1990s of the 20th century, it was believed that the largest dinosaur eggs reached the size of a soccer ball. Later, large oval eggs twice the diameter of a soccer ball were found. The finds could not be identified. The largest identified egg, 45 centimeters in length, belonged to Therizinosa therizinosaurus. The smallest dinosaur egg found weighs 1.2 grams and is the same size as a tit's eggs. The species of lizard that laid eggs of this size has also not been identified. On average, the fossils found reached 20 centimeters in length. Of particular interest is the relationship between the size of eggs and the size of the adult lizard that laid the clutch. In dinosaurs, egg mass was 0.01% of body weight. The average weight of an Argentinosaurus individual was 76.1 tons, and egg mass was 4.7 kilograms. The adult animal was 16,000 times heavier than the egg from which it hatched. This large difference between the size of the dinosaurs and the small size of the eggs supports the theory that the hatched lizards grew quickly. Well, as I promised, the video was interesting. So, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.